Who else is going to be camping out before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens? I definitely will. Disney has made it official. Starting on August 29th, 2019, the opening day of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World, it will open at 6 a.m. And it's not just for resort guests, it's for all guests. For those first 3 days, the 29th, 30th, and 31st, 6 a.m. is the opening time for all guests. Everyone can participate in the Star Wars fun. After opening weekend, starting on September 1st through November 2nd, there will be extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for resort guests, and will include Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, plus Toy Story Land will have special attractions open for that select time. Something that will definitely not surprise you, the last sentence here, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and its experiences subject to capacity. No surprise there. Disney also announced extra magic hours for Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom on November 29th through November 2nd from 7 to 8 a.m. Several of your favorite attractions at these two parks will be open. We'll dive into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and how to be there for opening, but first I want to say I am so happy with these extra magic hours coming to the parks. This is another free perk of staying at a Disney resort. I could not be happier. Disney, thank you. In recent years, we've been seeing more and more of these paid special events like evening magic hours or early magic hours, but now Disney is giving us more of those amenities that are included with your resort stay. I could not be happier. Okay, now back to Star Wars. Now that we have an official opening date and official opening time, August 29th at 6 a.m., what strategies should you use if you want to be there for opening day? As we get closer to opening day, Disney will no doubt be giving us more information on where to line up if you want to go in on the 29th, the 30th, or the 31st, but right now I'm going to go over some general strategies that you want to keep in mind if you want to be there on the opening day or opening weekend. Given the information that we have now, and keep in mind this can change at any time, but if you want to be there on opening day, I recommend you get in line at Hollywood Studios no later than about midnight the day of. Midnight is the absolute latest that I would get there if you want to be some of the first guests into the park on opening day. That being said, if you get there at 4, 5, or even 6 in the morning, I still believe that you will be able to get in on that day. That doesn't mean you're going to be the first in, then there might be quite a bit of a wait, but you will very likely get in. That being said, the earlier the better. I have no doubt that there will be a line forming before the park closes on the 28th. That is how popular I know Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is. The bigger question that I have about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening day at Walt Disney World, will Disney allow guests to set up camp the day before in line for Hollywood Studios and sleep overnight? Whether or not guests sleep, that's one thing, but will they let us set up camp? And to clarify, when I say set up camp, I mean a tent, maybe a cot to sleep on, and just sleep right there. Not starting your own fire or anything, or cooking a meal, I'm just talking about setting up a tent. If I had to guess, Disney may allow guests to camp out like a little bit, maybe a small tent and a small cot, something along those lines, but nothing too elaborate. As much as I know that some guests would be more than happy to go camping outside of Hollywood Studios in advance of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Disney may not allow this. They may actually say we don't want any guests to appear until maybe midnight the day before. But the problem is, if they do that, you know there are going to be some guests who are so excited they may line up outside of Hollywood Studios property. And then there's a liability issue. Is Disney going to want to deal with that? Or maybe just have all the guests kind of line up outside of Hollywood Studios and let them stay there basically all night. I personally believe that Disney's going to allow guests to line up as early as they want. That's just my guess. I believe Disney wants to make sure that everyone is comfortable and safe if they want to wait outside all night before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens. They may even have some security guard cast members or other cast members who are standing by to make sure that everyone is safe and comfortable, maybe even hand out water to make sure that everyone is well hydrated. That being said, this is just a guess. Disney could easily say something else, but if I were in charge at Disney, that's what I would do. Even though we've experienced several opening days together like Pandora, World of Avatar, and Toy Story Land at Hollywood Studios, I believe this is going to be an opening day like we have never seen before. I've seen 3-hour waits to get into Toy Story Land, 4-hour waits outside of Pandora, World of Avatar, but I think Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to break every record in the books. I think we're going to be looking at 6-hour waits, and it's likely that Disney will have to cap the line before midday on opening day. So like 11 o'clock in the morning, they'll cap the line and say no one else can get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge today because at the end of this line, it's going to be late at night. So they're going to let the last person in that line get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but that could be at 11 in the morning. Then they have to wait throughout the entire afternoon and evening in line just to see the area. So needless to say, if you want to be there on opening day or opening weekend, get there early. This is just a guess, but I believe if you arrive at Hollywood Studios before 9 in the morning, you will be able to get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge on opening day. It's just a guess. I don't know how it's going to go, but I think you'd be pretty safe before 9 a.m., but still earlier than that would be best. There is no doubt that we will hear a lot more from the Disney company about the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World before that day. So stay tuned to the Disney Parks blog. They will no doubt be telling us quite a bit. Needless to say, I am extremely excited and I will be there as early as possible to open Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Walt Disney World. I am beyond excited. So if Disney does allow guests to camp out outside of Hollywood Studios before the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, who's going to go camping that night? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will be there as early as possible. I do have a tent from my Boy Scout, Eagle Scout camping days. I don't know if they'll allow me to use it, but I have it just in case. Let me know if you would bring a tent to the opening of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, or if you'll just see it the weekend after and maybe months after, just so the crowds can die down just a bit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.